I really couldn't believe we were talking about the same department. She was in a rap video as a,
Make that ass clap, make it drop and roll.
When I heard NYPD and then we're talking about misconduct with the calls to fire her for being in a rap video, I really couldn't believe we were talking about the same department. So before we actually get to any talks of misconduct, there's this call to have this officer fired. Melissa Mercado, she's in the sex crime investigation division. Just in case you haven't seen this already, this is the video that she was in that they're saying that this was inappropriate. This is the NYPD we're talking about now.
Just wanna smash you quick. Let's go. Shorty love the track, but she love the pole. Make that ass clap. Make it drop and roll.
Now, a couple of things that you have to take into consideration is she wasn't named in the clip. Her position wasn't offered up. She wasn't even wearing anything in the video that would even suggest she was a part of the NYPD or any form of law enforcement. But yet, some of the comments from people that are in law enforcement and some of the comments from regular, average, everyday citizens, they're saying that this is degrading. And according to retired Division Chief Michael Osgood, he said that in particular, her conduct was, to put it nicely, pretty much disturbing.
You don't seem very disturbed by it.
Another retired officer said that she should be disciplined or something along the lines of she should be modified, and quote, what she did is inconsistent with the values of being a police officer. Police work is a noble profession and it's supposed to look a certain way.
Please don't do this. I can't drop the phone. I can't. This is for my safety. I can't do it. I am sorry. I can't do it. I'm not gonna hurt you. Drop the phone!
Now, to be fair, not all the way through the video, but this is the way that she looked. I don't know if you'd call this pearl clutching, and the only people that are really complaining about this detective are the other cops. Whatever her agent did to get her that spot is pretty good because her salary as an officer is roughly around $144,000 a year. So it's not like she's starving for money, but the people in the industry, they loved her in this role. So much so that Pitch Perfect claimed to TMZ that Mercado has become a sought-after dancer for the rap videos ever since. And you could only imagine that this scandal, now knowing that she's a cop, is going to make her even more wanted. He says, everyone loves this model. They refer to her as a beautiful woman, and then even closing with, I've had tons of artists reach out trying to get her in their videos. So if you look at it like that, it might be a great thing for her. With this amount of a boost in popularity, the fact that she's an officer now is going to make this woman even more sought after. But just pause for a second, because remember when I said that this is the NYPD talking about misconduct or inappropriate behavior? When the NYPD, when it comes down to handling their own cases of misconduct, they should be the last ones to talk. I think they're really only rivaled by the GPD or the LAPD even. So if you want to have a conversation about NYPD misconduct or NYPD inappropriate behavior, we can have that conversation because according to this quote, the department has killed more than 400 cases of alleged misconduct this year that an oversight board had investigated and substantiated. It's part of a lax attitude toward discipline under the current police commissioner. You know what that was? That was the NYPD, the same division that just said there's nothing to see here. But now they're coming after her.
All those TikToks?
All those TikToks.
I know.
Not going to make themselves.
Remember how much trouble we got into for a 9/11
that
joke
was the greatest.
It was one of my favorites ever. So I know you think that NYPD, busy fighting crime, doing whatever it is that you picture in your mind. But what if I told you that some of the NYPD were busy, consequence-free, mind you, not so much reading Miranda rights as shaking their fat asses, known as twerking.
I want to tell you about a girl named Keisha.
What up, Keisha?
Legs long, ass thick. Just want to smash it quick. Hit the dash and split. Cash gap it quick. Straight on some rap to skip. She like to scratch and spit.
Yeah, and before we go to this, I'm just going to cover the story.
I thought they were going to edit it more. And
there's no good way to edit it, Gerald. We're not trying to be titillating.
I'll give him that one. There is really no good way to edit it. It is what it is. Hate it or love it.
All we gotta do is lean into it.
Why don't you back the blue?
Why don't you get behind the blue?
Yeah.
Wow.
Make it rain, Gerald.
It's changed from back the blue to, I would say nothing she does in the video is the department's business. I understand that in theory, but you remember when the Alaska Airlines, the flight attendant was fired for twerking in uniform, but the difference is she was in uniform, she wasn't in a thong.
And she was also on the clock.
So one could almost argue that this is worse because it's going to be pretty tough you get pulled over to respect the authority.
No, the Alaska Airlines flight attendant had a small ass.
Yes, that's true.
Oh, that's
And if you heard Esquire, he said that was thick.
Yes, he did.
Clearly.
That was
Yeah, that's what it was. Now, I read about stories regarding the NYPD all the time, so I'm very familiar with some of their conduct, especially when we talk about allegations of sexual misconduct. Or we could talk about the way they use the city's money to make sure that they protect their own. Are we back in the blue now? So yeah, in light of the stuff they do, it kind of makes the whole twerking thing just seem, nah.
Shit don't even matter, you know what I'm saying, at the end of the day.
Yeah, all this police misconduct, we can defend all that in the same division, but a twerking video, she should be fired. Nah, she did nothing wrong, leave her alone. What are your thoughts though? Should she be fired? Is this very similar to the Alaska lady video? Now take into consideration, she wasn't on the clock, she didn't have any identifying markers on her, she didn't say her name, this is in her own spare time, and so if your argument is that she should have just filled out the forms to say that she was doing a second gig or another job, then fine. But fired? I don't know. What do you think? Whatever your thoughts are, leave them in the comment section. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to drop a like, and I will see you again on the next one. Be easy, y'all.